Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Logical Nonsense Podcast. Today we have some very sad football fans as we go over our over and unders. Most of us are over under 4.5. One of us is like 6.5. So today is a great day to see if we believe in our teams. No, for real though, it's great to even be talking about the NFL. It's my favorite season of the year. Uh, when we start talking about over unders, it's coming. It's August. They've got the Hall of Fame game tonight. So you gotta love it. Football's back, baby. Football is back. I'm excited to talk about everything that's happened in the offseason, why we believe in these teams or why we don't believe in these teams. And I really haven't talked to you guys too much about the NFL season, so it should be a fun one to get your perspective on some teams and what they did in the offseason. So, boys, how we doing? How we feeling about this NFL season?
I think this is a skipper for me. It's gonna wait till next year, hopefully.
Last few Patriots seasons have been skippers. Let's be honest, they're big guy.
Yeah, there's always hope, but I'm out of hope.
I mean, I'm very interested to see how Seattle's going to do. New coach.
Yeah,
I like Pete, so I'm not super happy he's gone. But you know what? Let's see what McDonald can bring. So
yeah.
I'm excited.
Well, that's good. I'm glad some people are excited about their teams. I would like to not comment on my team. We'll get there when we get there. So, all right, boys, we got 32 teams to go through, so we're gonna hop right into it. First, starting off, we are using DraftKings. Shout out DraftKings if you want to sponsor me. I'd love the sponsorship. But as of now, you don't sponsor me. I don't have anything, so it's chill. But first, we're starting out with the LA Chargers, a very interesting team here. When you think about what they did in the offseason or what they got rid of in the offseason, we should say. For those who don't remember, Keenan Allen, gone. Mike Williams, gone. Austin Eckler, gone. They did get Gus Edwards. Really an interesting team. They did get a new coach. My least favorite coach of all time is gone, Brandon Staley. Thank God they actually have a chance now. I still don't love this team, especially with all the cap room they got rid of. Like that this team has somewhat of a chance. They did get some guys. I don't know if it's going to be enough. I think this defense is strong. But before I get into my opinion, let's start out with the man who always has some interesting opinions, Dodge Matthews. Dodge, line here is 8.5. Are we going over or under this?
We're definitely taking the under. I'm
Okay.
surprised this is that high. First year coach. Obviously, he's getting back in the NFL. Lost a lot of talent on that roster, like we talked about. In a tough division, too. I can't see. I mean, it's not as tough as it was, right? Still, 8.5 is too high. Herbert will be pretty much the most outstanding factor about this team. I might go as far as like 6.5.
Yeah.
6.5, I think, would be a better
and just so everyone knows, the AFC West this year, they will play the AFC North, the NFC South, and then one team from the NFC West, and then obviously their own division as well. Seth,
AFC North is tough.
AFC North is very tough. Seth, what are you thinking?
I think Dodge is coming in with the differing opinion. I think they're gonna go. I think they'll hit 9, maybe even 10. I think Harbaugh coming in with a new mindset. He just want to chip over there in Michigan. I don't know if you guys go blue, but I go blue. So I think he'll come in with something special, something new, something fresh. Justin Herbert's only going to get better. Yes, they do lose a huge piece in Keenan Allen. Austin Eckler, at this point, we have to believe running backs can be replaced. I mean, they're replaced every single year at some point, somehow. They're not going to do just as good as Austin Eckler in an individual standpoint, but a running back by committee, I think they'll do just fine. That defense is still strong. Broncos, Raiders are still figuring things out. I think this team could sneak into the playoffs.
I don't know about that. I think their defense is a little underrated. However, they get injured a lot. I feel like that's a huge thing with this team that they've always struggled with is injuries. I do like their defense, especially on paper. They've still got Khalil Mack, still got Derwin James. They picked up Bud Dupree, I believe, too, which is an underrated signing. They've got guys, but when I look at their receiving core and it's Josh Palmer, Lad McConkey as your 1 and 2 options, it's really hard to believe in this team. And they really don't have like a super great, like solid tight end, in my opinion. Like Gerald Everett, he's all right, but what's up?
We can't forget to mention Joey Bosa. Sorry, like we're going
Joey,
over the
yeah, Joey.
Yeah.
But I mean, I was just throwing out some, you know. But
just saying, he might be the best on that.
yeah, he definitely. But Denzel Perryman, I believe, is on that roster too. So I mean, there's plenty of guys up and down the roster on that defense, but they just struggle to stay healthy. And playing it 4 AFC North teams, that's going to be tough. AFC South or NFC South, on the other hand, that is like an advantage that they do get to play them. I don't know. I think they'll kind of go. It's going to be close. I think 8.5 is a good number. I'm going to take the under on this, and I think it's going to be due to injuries. I hate to wish that on a team, but okay. We got Kansas City Chiefs next. Over under is 11.5. What do we think?
I think once you win the Super Bowl 2 times in a row, like just when the Patriots did it, they talk about in every series that they're ever in, is that you're now the bullseye on everyone's schedule. You're that week is the week that they play the best football that they can possibly play. Now, I still think they'll get above this, but I don't think they're hitting that, 13, 14 game winning record this year like they did the previous years. I think they hover around 12 and they might sneak a 13 in there, but you can't count Patrick Mahomes out. That offense is still pretty young, besides Kelsey. I think they'll figure it out. I think Andy Reid has a great idea on defense. They're still the team to beat in the NFL, so I think 11.5 is a little disrespectful to the champions, but we'll have to see what they can do. Barring injuries, this team is definitely over that.
So I do want to state that they did go 11-6 last year.
They're not a regular. Well, they're not a regular.
They're not a regular
team,
season
though.
team. I know
They peak at the right time. They always do.
Look, I think you got Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes. We're talking about two of the best at their field. I'm gonna go the over as well. I wouldn't go highly over, but this team could be good. This team, I think, could win 13, 14 games. They could also win 10 and win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go the over. I think it's a good line, though.
I think it's a really good line. I think they're going to be right around there, 12, 10, 11 games. Yeah, they're not a regular season team. You see them every year kind of just be an up and down team. They are the team to beat. And I think that's why during the regular season, sometimes they do struggle a little bit. But I think it tests them and it just kind of proves to them like who they are and kind of gives them that X factor, that hunger, if you will, going into the playoffs. They got better this year. And last year, they won the Super Bowl with an offensive roster I was not impressed with. They got Hollywood Brown. They went and got the fastest guy in the draft, which we don't know how he's going to be. I think he'll be a good asset. I feel like Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes always know how to get the best out of players, unless your name is Kadarius Toney. So I think they'll be just fine. Rashee Rice, we saw him really step up in a big way towards the end of the year. I think he'll take a bigger role unless he gets under the wheel. So, I think this team is going to be just fine. I don't think they got worse, which is a huge key. I think they're very capable of going over. All right. Going to shout out Caden Walsh. Dallas Cowboys, 10.5 is the line here.
No one speak all at once,
I'll say this about the Dallas Cowboys. Caden's pissed about what they did in the offseason because they really didn't do much. Not much talent at the running back position. They've got CeeDee Lamb and Brandon Cooks.
I think this team relies totally and almost too much on Dak Prescott. And
they did bring back Zeke.
They brought back Zeke, who's not going to help much. Remind me if I'm saying this name wrong. Mike McCarthy's still the coach.
Yep.
I mean, you have a quarterback and a coach who are on the hot seats. I mean, those two guys are people calling for their names ready to be kicked out. So some people play up to the pressure. Some people crack. And I view Dak as a cracker. And Pause.
You view him as a what?
Time out. Pause. I think he's gonna crack. I think Mike McCarthy's not gonna do well again. I think we're gonna see a lot of the flaws in his coaching. I truly don't think this defense is gonna keep him in the games either. So this is an under for me by a mile.
By a mile.
Dang.
I might see 7 wins off this team.
Whoa. Talk about bold opinions.
Yeah, that's a bold take on the Logical Nonsense podcast right there.
That's not even come out my mouth. I'm surprised.
Sorry, Cade. Love you, bud.
I think this team's gonna have a winning record, so I think 10.5 is solid. I'm gonna go the over. I think Mike McCarthy does a good job in the regular season, as much hate as he gets. Dak Prescott does actually fairly well, unless he's throwing too many picks, which he cut down on last year. Only 9 picks last year. That's solid. 36 touchdowns. I have a decently high view of Mike McCarthy and Dak. They have a decent roster that they reloaded. I don't think Zeke's going to bring much, like Seth said. But I'm going the slight over, 11.
I'm going to go the slight under. I don't think it's going to be 7 wins, but I do think it's going to be like somewhere in the 10-9 range. I see them as a wild card team. I mean, they play the NFC South, which isn't great. They do play the AFC North. I don't know. I think they're a team that you can't really seriously consider, but you also can't count out in making the playoffs. To me, they're not really a championship team, but I do think they are a sneak-in team. I think Dak, to your point, Dodge, he always gets hated on a lot, but he did play good last year, and he really did. And I think that was kind of just overshadowed by who he is. I thought he played fine. CeeDee Lamb is looking like he's hitting his peak. That connection looks good. Brandon Cooks towards the end of the season looks really good. And his defense, if we're being honest, is the sole reason why this team is really good or was good last year. So I could see this team easily getting to 10 wins. I'll take the under. I don't see them as like an 11, 12, 13 win team by any means, but I think 10 is very doable. So I'll go under. Minnesota Vikings. They were at. Can I just screw that up?
Yeah, you did.
Was that 6.5?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought. This looks like the most even odds. Okay. Minnesota Vikings 6.5 over under. Obviously, they went out. They got JJ McCarthy in the draft, which is, in my opinion, a big reach, but a lot of people reached in the draft. Went out, they got JJ McCarthy. They did get rid of some guys. They paid the big bag to Justin Jefferson. They went out, and I believe they got Aaron Jones, right? Yeah. So they went out and they got Aaron Jones. They still have Jordan Addison as long as he doesn't get behind the wheel again. They've got TJ Hawkinson. He'll be out for a few games, though, it looks like, at the beginning of the year. Yeah. Let's talk about it. What do you think of the Vikings? 6.5.
Looking at their schedule, the NFC North plays the NFC West, the AFC South, and one game against the AFC East. That's not a bad schedule. Not at all. I'm going to go the under just because you have a rookie quarterback. I actually think JJ McCarthy will be fine. They might start Sam Darnold as well, and that could be okay. I'm still going to go the under. I don't see this team getting close enough to playoffs where I think they're in it for the whole season. Because I think 7-10 until the last 2 games, you're kind of in the playoff hunt.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think that's the Vikings this season, and I'll take the under. 5 or 6 wins.
They're playing probably the best few divisions in the league. You got Detroit, you got the Packers who are good. The Bears are, who knows? We'll talk about them later. And you said the AFC North,
South,
right? South,
AFC South, and NFC West. Okay,
so you got the Texans who are pretty good. The Colts who are, who knows? Anthony Richardson.
AFC South's the weakest division. Come on now.
You got Jacksonville, but it's tough.
Did you not watch Trevor Lawrence last year?
No, Trevor Lawrence is terrible. He's terrible. Yeah, I'll go under, but not. I think they get 6 wins, maybe 5, but they're close. I think JJ McCarthy should play kind of Teddy Bridgewater. Not a whole lot of flashy throws. Get it on the ground. Run the ball, get some screens, get some cool playmaking abilities with Jordan Addison. But Justin Jefferson will keep them in the game a little bit. We'll see how they do. But this is an under team for sure.
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna go under 2. I'm not in love with this defense. I think there's some guys that stick out, but overall, I'm not in love with it. I think they're gonna struggle on the defensive side of the ball. They struggled last year a little bit too, and I also just think, to your point, Seth, they are in a tough division. They've got the Lions, who are one of the best teams in the league. They got the Packers, who looks really tough, and who are always competing, right? And possibly a Bears team, if they can figure it out, could be really good this year too. So you got those teams. I think they could steal some wins. I think they're a team that could upset some teams, but I think this first year, figuring it out with a new rookie quarterback, possibly playing with Sam Darnold, there could be some struggles with this team, and especially if you have guys like T.J. Hawkinson, Jordan Addison out at the beginning of the year, that's not going to be good for them. So I'm definitely going under here. All right, going to the L.A. Rams. This line is at 8.5. Kind of an interesting line here. The Rams still got Matty Stafford. Puka Nacua was a big guy that stuck out for them. Cooper Kupp, sneaky good team. I'm pretty sure they snuck into the playoffs last year, and it's kind of funny because I remember them saying middle of the year, like, this is a team you got to watch out for. Like, they are frisky and a team that, with Sean McVay at the helm, whatever you think about Sean McVay, he somehow kind of always makes them in the mix a little bit. So obviously huge loss for them. Aaron Donald. Look, that team last year, Dodge, I know you're going, that team last year did not deserve to be in the playoffs, and he got them there.
I hear you. I have an interesting question for you after we're done talking about the Rams, but
Okay. Well, Aaron Donald, he left. Huge loss to this Rams defense. But they did pick up some guys in the draft that I really liked. Jared Verse, Braden Fisk, sorry. Excuse me. And I think this team is an interesting one to talk about. So, Dodge, you got some opinions over there. We'll start with you.
Yeah, so the question that I want to ask you, and you can say this before or after I'm done talking on the line, is Sean McVay a good head coach? Or is he just like average? Anyway,
I think he's a good head coach, but I'll get to it.
I don't see the Rams getting 8.5 wins. They were 10-7. I don't see it. I don't know. I'm also a Rams hater, so take that with a grain of salt. But losing Aaron Donald has to be worth more than 2. They did get some decent additions from the draft. Me and you talked about that. And I'm not of the opinion that Sean McVay is a good head coach. I think he's all right.
But why?
My reason why is that I think the Rams they loaded up for one season to win, and now they're kind of in this period where they're not really trying to win, and maybe that's their goal. Maybe that's a front office thing, not a head coach thing.
I think it's definitely a front office thing, and that's why I think he is a good coach, because last year they weren't supposed to be good at all, and they made the playoffs. And then 2 years ago, two or 3 years ago, they made the Super Bowl when nobody expected them to.
Nobody?
Not really.
I don't know about nobody. Come on now. That's why they got Matt Stafford. They had Goff. They got Matt Stafford to win a Super Bowl.
At the beginning of the year, nobody. They went and they sold into the team in the middle of the year. But at the beginning of the year, nobody believed in it.
I don't see it. To be honest, if you asked me halfway through last season if they were going to get to 10 wins, I would have said no too. So
that's why you can't have this team out.
I think they're under. I think it's a good line, but I have them at like 7-8 wins.
All right, Seth. We haven't heard your opinion.
The NFC West has to play the
Northeast and a team from the West.
Decent, and a team from the West. The West could, as long as you're not getting the Chiefs, you could be getting a dub there. So
I think we're forgetting Jalen Ramsey, who is a perennial lockdown corner. top 5
And plays
in
for the Dolphins, yeah.
now plays for the Dolphins. So you lose 2 of the best players in defense in 1 year. You're using a Matt Stafford who's 37 now.
Ramsey wasn't on their team last year, though.
He was on the Dolphins last year. Yeah.
Well, I don't think they. All right,
I think I think you have a point though with Stafford, and Stafford's not getting any younger. I keep going on that. I think that's true.
You like that one? All right, continue.
I think Matthew Stafford isn't a Peyton Manning where he can play till he's 36 and have a 50 touchdown season, or Tom Brady who went to the Bucs and threw 42 touchdowns and 5,000 yards. He has the weapons in Puka and Cooper Kupp, but I mean, you got an offensive line that I don't know anyone about. A defense
Kupp's getting older too.
Coop's getting older too. He's older than people think. Look it up. That man's about 31, 32, coming off some pretty serious injuries. I know he played last season, but he wasn't all the way there. I think this team gets under, though I do argue with Dodge. I think Sean McVay is a above average coach. I wouldn't put him top 3 or top 5, but
I'm not saying he's top 3. I'm not saying he's top 5 even.
I'd give him 9 or 10 personally. I mean, you still got to win a Super Bowl as a coach, and he did it. So it's hard to argue with that. I mean, you could argue the same thing with like Pete Carroll, who won a Super Bowl and then did nothing since.
He did only win 1 Super Bowl.
I'm just saying, maybe run the ball one time, you get 2 championships. But
the Seahawks have the best record over the last 10 years in the NFC. Okay.
In the NFC, keep it there. Keep it locked over there. I think this team is going to be feisty
20 times. Just sorry.
It'll be feisty, but this is not a playoff team, not anymore. They should look to the future in terms of quarterback play.
Damn, everyone's giving up on the Rams. I'm gonna go over.
I knew you were gonna go over. I was like,
I'm going 9. This is a 9-8 team. This is a team that I don't know if they're gonna get in the wild card, but they'll fight for it for sure. Matty Stafford, man, he slings. I don't care what y'all say. He slung it last year, and yes, he's getting old, but he's one of those QBs. It's not like he runs, just sits in the pocket and throws it. It's not a style of quarterback, in my opinion, that's really hurting from old age. He is that old school quarterback that sits in the pocket, escapes sacks, slings the ball around. I mean, he's got one of the best arms in the league still, and he proved that last year too. I mean, last year he didn't even play all 17 games, 11th in yards, 11th in touchdowns. I mean, that's not bad at all. 6th in QBR. I think he still has it. I think they're going to be just fine. And I'm going over. All right, let's go to a very interesting team, Chicago Bears. 8.5. They really set up their QB for success, as we've talked about through the mock drafts and everything like that. The big question here, and the one everyone wants to know, will the Bears finally make it work? Seems like on paper they've done everything they can to set up for success, but it's all about that team chemistry. What do we think? Over, under 8.5?
I think this team's gonna have some growing pains. I think Caleb Williams. I didn't love him coming out of the draft. I think he played very hero ball-ish. I think he's scrambling a lot, not trusting his O-line, not trusting receivers to get open on their first move, their first route. I don't love the coaching. The defense got better, so I see this team winning a few games, and hopefully Caleb doesn't turn the ball over too many times. With the additions on offense with Keenan and DJ, he has the weapons. I think this team is very who knows. I think 8.5 is a great line for them. I think Vegas is betting, on the who knows factor.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go with the under just because from the Bears since I grew up, haven't been great. Besides that, Devin Hester carrying their team. So we'll have to see how they play this year. I'll take the under. We'll see him again next year.
Dodge, what do we think about this Bears team?
I think this Bears team is pretty solid. I think the 8.5 is a little low. We've talked about the Bears. We think they got a lot better. Although I know you have some spicy comments. I don't know if you've actually said them on here.
I haven't.
But
it's okay.
I think the Bears are solid. I think they're gonna be on the over of this. I think they are pushing possibly playoff material, even with the rookie quarterback Caleb Williams, and it's almost regardless of how he plays. I mean, obviously he has to play well to accomplish that, but for them to get 9-10 wins, he doesn't have to play great. He just has to play decent.
Yep.
So, yeah, I'm going with the over.
This one I struggle with a little bit just because it's like if I go over here, it's either I don't believe in the Packers or I don't believe in the Lions, and I definitely believe in the Lions. So it's between the Packers or the Bears, or I'm saying that I really think 3 teams from the NFC North could make it, which is possible.
I think that's
But
possible.
I'm just thinking about it logistically and the other divisions. I'm going to go under, but I'm going to go like 8 wins. I think this team is on the verge of being a playoff team. I think they need one more year. Defense super solid. Last year they had 7 wins with really no quarterback and really a bad coach. This year they got more guys, they've got more weapons, but I think there will still be growing pains. I think there might be some issues coaching. I just think they don't have the easiest schedule. Like I said, this conference isn't easy. They play some tough teams from the NFC West. They play Texans. They play I don't know if I believe in the Jags, but they play the Jags. The AFC South, I guess I'm not worried about, but it's those NFC West teams. It's those NFC North teams where I could see them being that team that's in every game and falling short. So I'm going to go under here. Philadelphia Eagles. Over under is 10.5. This is an interesting one. Obviously, the Eagles last year really fell the fuck apart. They started off really hot, and holy shit, we haven't seen I don't know. That was wild what they did last year. So, what do we think about this? 10.5.
A 10.5. I'm going to go with the over for the Eagles. Obviously, Jason Kelsey's retirement is going to help that team. But they do have a good Nebraska kid, Cam Jurgens, who's going to be replacing him. And, they're a solid squad. I really don't expect this Eagles team to be, worse than they were last season. And they were good. So, I think they're the best team in the NFC East as well. They should be over 10.5 wins.
All right.
Yeah,
Do you guys think they're not the best team in the NFC East?
No, who are they
Because
going
we
to
just
play
talked
against?
about the Cowboys, right? So
No, I do. But I'll get to it in a second.
I think the loss of Jason Kelsey is getting blown up. I love Jason. I think he's one of the better centers in the past 20 years that I've seen and got to watch. But I think you still have
Why won't you say best? No, I'm digging deep. Why won't you say best?
I think you got Creed Humphrey played better than him last year.
Okay, that's fine, but you can still say one of the best.
He's one of the best, yeah, for sure. I think people are putting him to the standard of a first ballot Hall of Fame center, and
he probably will be.
I'm not gonna lie, he might.
For a center, it's really hard to give it to him. Either way, I think with the addition of
Stop hating on
Barkley,
the lineman.
I'm a small guy for a reason. I think with the addition of Saquon, and Devontae Smith, you got AJ Brown, you got Jalen Hurts.
That's right.
The coaching staff gets another year to really get to work with this offense and prepare them a little bit better. That defense is still going to be scrappy. I don't think they lost anyone big on defense just yet. I think this team's going to come out and continue the success that they had early on last year. I think they're gonna hit 12 wins. I think they're gonna get back to the NFC Championship, and I'd love to see them put up a fight against the Niners. I'd really think the Eagles, coming from a Patriots fan who lost to the Eagles a few years ago, I think this team has continued to win under pressure. And last year was a slip, and I hope that they take a look at it and figure out why they did that, and then turn it over this year and ball out.
Yeah, I'm actually really excited for this Eagles team. I think they are the best in the NFC East. I think getting a guy like Saquon is so dangerous for them. You think about everyone's talking about that Derrick Henry, Lamar Jackson duo. I really like this Saquon, Jalen Hurts combo. I think they're both powerful runners. I think Jalen Hurts always plays better when he has a chip on his shoulder, if I'm being honest. When he is the underdog, we saw what he did in college when he went to Oklahoma. You know, he can go play. I think he is somebody that kind of likes being the guy that's talked shit about, right? And I think he's going to use that as fuel this year. I could see this team being a 12, 13 win team, if I'm being honest. I really like their defense too. Giving a guy like Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, giving them another year of experience. They got guys like Bryce Huff, Devin White, Jeremiah Trotter, Nolan Smith. Nolan Smith gets another year. They went and
You
drafted.
got Devin White
Yeah, they got Devin White.
I know. I'm so
in free
sad.
agency.
Yeah, Darius Slay now. They've got him back. CJ Gardner Johnson. And then they went and drafted Quinyon Mitchell. I like this team. I like this team a lot. I think they're solid from top to bottom. I think this is one of the best O-line in the league still, even without Jason Kelsey. And I think they're set up for success. A lot of people I think, are counting them out because of the way things ended last year. And I think that is a mistake. I think this is going to be one of the best teams in the NFC East and in the NFC, period. So I'm going to go over. Denver Broncos. The line is 5.5. And I will start here because this is my own team. I would love to sit here and try to convince you all that we would be the over. But I am saddened to say that it's going to be under. And here's the sole reason why this team was fucked up since the moment we signed Zach Wilson. That little fucker decided to screw my own team up already more than it was already fucked up. That little shit. All right? You already fucked up the Jets enough, okay? They used a second-round pick, wasted a second overall pick on you. And then they traded you for basically nothing to one of the worst teams in the NFL right now. Thank you. Thank you, Zach Wilson, for fucking up everyone's life. Even that MILF. Even that MILF. Good job. Good job. Thank you for coming over here. No, but honestly, getting into the weeds of the Broncos, I mean, I've been saying this for years. We just don't have enough weapons. We just don't. It's that simple. We actually got rid of a lot of good guys. We got rid of fucking Christ, what's his name? Justin Simmons. We got rid of Kareem Jackson. We got rid of so many guys. Go listen to my freaking NFL free agency pod. I had a tirade. Oh, I forgot Russell Wilson. Yeah, we gave him up for $85 million. Yeah. We're still paying him $85 million. So I mean, I don't know what you want me to say here. It's under.
Yeah, I won't beat a dead horse, but money-wise, screwed. Coaching-wise, screwed. Player-wise, screwed. I think they gotta ship the boat, trade everything, cut everyone. We start from fresh.
Well, at least we're not living in delusion.
Go Pats! Go Pats! Go Pats!
The Broncos, honestly, I don't know what they're going to do. It's obvious who they should start, in my opinion. That quarterback I'm speaking.
Bo Nix.
But why do you go get Zach Wilson?
And why do you keep throwing Jarrett Stidham in there too?
Yeah, why is he still in this conversation? I really don't know who they're going to
You know what I love about these conversations? This is just my favorite part. Who is going to lead this team to be the shittiest? It shouldn't be a conversation of who's going to start to win be the leader of this team and be the QB. Who's going to be the leader to lead this team into absolute fucking dog shit? That's the question right now.
Who's the scapegoat?
It would be Zach.
God.
Whoever they put in a quarterback at the end of the season, that guy's not playing another snap for the NFL.
No, I think that's false.
Unless it's Bo Nix. But at that point, I mean, I think both.
Anyway, The Broncos are too unpredictable from a head coaching staff, from a front office staff, that this team can't do well. So 3-4 wins. I won't even give them 5.
All right, moving on. Houston Texans. I'm also going to go first on this one. I think the Houston Texans are slightly overrated. That doesn't mean I'm going to go under here.
Whoa!
But everyone thinks they're just this fucking loaded team. Granted, they played great last year. They earned that respect. But I think we are just like already penciling them in as this like best team. And I get it. The AFC South sucks. But
So you don't think they're the best team in the AFC South?
no, I do.
Okay.
But I think we're overrating them. And I think like in
You
the
think
playoffs,
it's
I don't think they're gonna get it done in the playoffs. I think they're a team that like gets 10 or 11 wins, probably 10 wins. I could see them as a 10-win team. And honestly, this is a team to me. This is like the Dolphins last year. This is a team to me where I could see them doing really well in the regular season and then just leaving a goose egg in the playoffs. I'm gonna go over, but I'm throwing the caution flag in right now.
I really liked Stroud's last season. That was his rookie year, right?
Yep.
I really liked his rookie year. Obviously, we do hear about sophomore slump.
Yep.
Is it going to come? If it doesn't come, this team should have 11, 12 wins. I mean, who are the
And they got better, too. They got better.
Yeah, they did. They got AFC East, NFC North. Ooh, that's not easy. I'll say that. But the AFC South should be by far the best team in that little division. So I'm going to go the over here. I think Stroud, even if he has a decent season, they still are getting 10 wins. I'm a little surprised that you think they're overrated. I don't, because
Okay, well let me ask you this. Do you think this Houston Texans team is capable of winning a Super Bowl?
Right now?
Yes, right now. This year.
Probably not.
So that's my
point. But they're close. I think they're close.
Yes, I think they're getting closer. Stephon Diggs addition was great. Joe Mixon addition was great, right? Those are really good moves. But I
want to see who's their head coach? D'Amico Ryans, is that?
Yeah.
I want to see D'Amico's second year. I want to see Stroud's second year. I want to see maybe Will Anderson play better and that defense play better. But if they do that this season, they make it to a divisional round or a championship round. Yeah, I think this team's ready to compete for Super Bowls that following year.
Yeah, that's my thing. As I think some people are penciling them in as a championship contender, and I don't think they're that. I think they're a playoff team for sure.
I think they're close. I think they're close to that.
Seth?
I'm putting the life savings, the 401k, the car, the boat, the everything on the over on this. I mean, you had two veteran.
Put it
in life savings. You're saying
put it down then.
You can't see the Texans going 9-8.
I'll put down my bonus this year on the over. I mean, you got a team that plays.
Stroud gets hurt.
Heard it here first.
Look, what if Stroud?
We need that receipt on the story.
All right, I'll get there. But you had Stephon Diggs, who used to be 1 or 2 in the league at receiver. I mean, yeah, his production's gone down. He's gotten a little bit older. Same with Joe Mixon, who's been one of the most
consistent,
useful, consistent stratagem running backs in the league. And you hand it to a young quarterback, yeah, he's going to play lights out. I think the sophomore slump's not going to be a possibility for an offense like that. I mean, and we're also forgetting their tight end. I don't even know his name, but I just know he's good.
Dalton Schultz.
That's what it is. Dalton Schultz is a top 10 tight end in the league. I mean, you got weapons across the board. They're all young. They're coming into this year still hot. They're ready to go. D'Amico Ryans.
Not worried about the defense at all?
D'Amico Ryans is a defensive coach. I think that defense will be fine. They picked up some guys in the draft that I really liked. I think this team is going to hit 11, possibly 12 wins this year. They'll make it to the AFC Championship. They'll lose to the Chiefs. But, I mean, who else in the AFC is going to give these guys a fight? Sorry, I got trained.
Anyone from the AFC North, I think.
Anyone from the AFC.
Do you want me? Do you really want me to name like every single team that I think will beat them? Because I'll do it right now. I'll name every single team that I think is better than them.
Ravens choke year in, year out. Next.
Oh, the Ravens are better than the Texans. Come on.
The Ravens are better than the Texans, but I agree. I don't believe in the Ravens.
So
we'll get to it later. We'll get to it later.
Who else in the AFC is gonna put these guys on in check?
Chiefs.
That's it. That's why I say they lose to the Chiefs. That's it.
The AFC East with
the Bills.
I would say honestly, I don't even believe in this team, but I would say the Dolphins would beat this team.
I'd say the Bills and Dolphins.
The Dolphins?
I think anyone from the AFC North could
I'd
beat
say the
too.
Ravens. I would say
Bengals,
I would say the Steelers. I'll say it.
The Steelers.
I'll say the Bengals. I'll say the Bengals. I'd say the Browns.
The Steelers got the most.
Anyone from the AFC North
could
beat the Texans. What did you just say?
Russ Wilson's the most expensive backup quarterback in the league.
No, he's not.
He's $1 million right now.
Yeah,
you're right for the Steelers, but overall, he's
exactly. So that's a steal.
Backup. Wait, you said backup?
Yes.
Yeah, wait. What?
You'll see.
No.
That team's hitting me over. I'll see you guys at the AFC Championship.
No shot.
All right. We got to keep the receipts on this one. All right, Raiders. Line is 6.5. Over under. Look, all I'm gonna say, the moment I saw that Kermit the Frog come out, I had to pick the under on this one. My goodness, Raiders, you do not have enough talent on your roster to be bringing that freaking little frog out. My God, you are not that good. Especially, like, I love Gardner Minshew, but, like, is he really going to do that much for this team and this roster?
We can't be saying that. We can't be spewing that.
I know.
Well,
bro, your running back is Zamir White.
There we go. Amir Abdullah? Amir, come back.
Wide receiver 3 is Trey Tucker. Anybody know who Trey Tucker is?
I've heard the name.
I mean, Max Crosby going to be doing his thing. Don't get me wrong. Christian Wilkins is going to be doing his thing. Don't get me wrong. But, like, the rest of them, no. Give me the under.
Yeah, give me the under too, because the Raiders suck. And Gardner is an okay stopgap quarterback, but eventually you got.
Let me rephrase this. I love Gardner, and I think he's a really great quarterback. I think he's underrated, but I don't think he can do much with this roster.
Okay, yeah. Under 4 or 5 wins.
I mean, they got to play the Broncos, so there's 2 wins.
The Raiders and Broncos split? I think they split.
They might. They actually might. The Broncos are circling that game on the schedule this year.
I think it's a split between the Raiders, Chargers, Broncos, Chargers, and Raiders, Chargers. I think they're all going to split.
You think the Broncos are splitting the Chargers?
Yeah. I'm telling you, the Chargers are not good, bro.
Someone's delusional. Someone's crazy.
Look, I put the under on the Broncos.
I know, but where are your wins coming?
I just gave you 2 of them.
I think this is a great line. I think they win 6 games this year out of pure luck and Max Crosby being insane.
And saying the N-word. All right, going to San Francisco 49ers. We've got the line at 11.5, which I think feels low, but that could just be me. Going to any of you guys. Seth, we'll start with you since you like to go last.
Yeah, I agree. This seems a little low. I mean, you got what seems like Brandon Ayuk's back. I don't know if you guys saw, but he's dapping up John Lynch. He's dapping up Kyle Shanahan. He's here to stay, it looks like. If he's gone, I mean, you still got Debo. You still got Christian McCaffrey. I think Brock Purdy, another year underneath his belt, he gets a little bit better. The defense is still there. I think this team is going to sneak 12 wins and make it back to the NFC Championship, and we'll be seeing them again in the Super Bowl, hopefully. But I mean, when is it going to stop? When is it going to be the Cavaliers and Warriors? Like, when does that end?
Not now.
Not now, apparently.
If I were to bet the house on something, it would be this. I think the over-under should probably be 13.5. Like, this is insanely low. Brock Purdy, as much as he gets hated on, he had a better year last year than he did the year before. Guess what I'm expecting this year? Probably better than the year before.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm not even sure Brandon Ayuk matters that much to the success of their team. They're going to be successful. Their roster is loaded. They've got a good head coach. They've got a good front office. This team's trying to win Super Bowls, and they should be. The fact that they haven't won a Super Bowl is kind of ridiculous at this point.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think maybe 15 wins is possible. Would I bet that? No, but it's possible.
15 wins by Dodge. That's what he just said. All right. No, I totally agree with you guys. I think the over is definitely one I would be willing to bet on. I think this team's loaded. They're hungry. I think I thought last year was the year. I really did. Look, I'll say as long as they don't play the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, they might be okay. They
gotta beat the Chiefs one time, bro.
That is their kryptonite, because I seriously think they can beat any other team, but it's starting hard to believe that they can beat the Chiefs. So I'm gonna go over on this for sure. Going to the New York Jets. A-Rod is back, baby, for one game. No, I'm just kidding. All right. All right. What do we think about this Jets team? Do you think Aaron Rodgers can lead them to the playoffs?
Yes, he can. Will he? Probably. I think probably they go to the playoffs. I don't think that it's like written in the stars. Maybe this team's is slightly overrated, but not by this 9.5 line. 9.5 is a solid line for them. I'm going to go the over. I still think Aaron Rodgers has it. He just needs to stay healthy. So I'm going to go with the over 10, possibly 11 wins. Sneak into playoffs. See what happens.
I think the over as well. I think this Jets team will do a lot better with somebody who knows how to lead this team. I think there's a lot of young guys on this team who need a veteran leader. Aaron Rodgers provides that. Talk about gunslingers. We talked about Matt Stafford earlier. This is another guy who really, I'm not going to say he's not affected by age, but he's somebody who can still play with his play style at his age. And I think Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson, Mike Williams, adding him to this roster. I think, and then this defense, who I think is kind of underrated at times, with the amount of talent they have on that roster. If they can pull it together, this team could be really dangerous. And I definitely think I could see them being a 10, maybe even 11 win team. 11 is going to be tough in their division and some of the guys they play, but I think they could easily be a 9 or 10 win game. I guess the line is 9.5, so we'll go 10 win games here.
I mean, you're talking about
the line is good though.
Needing a leader on this team, right?
Oh,
I was chill with the ayahuasca. I was chill with the medicating COVID. But this man went to Egypt instead of going to training camp. And we're talking about training camp. I don't know if you guys are as well versed in this or not, but I listen to Tom Brady and Julian Edelman almost every single day, my idols. Practice no more. These guys are practicing one time a day for 2, maybe 3 hours. They're sitting in the film room the rest of the day. No more 2-a-days, basically. No more padded time. I mean, you come off a year where you don't play. You barely practice, and you're going to show up late to training camp. You're not leading the team. This team is still great on paper, and I wouldn't say great. It's good, but I don't think Aaron's that leader that this team needs. I think Robert Saleh is on the hot seat after this year. Probably butchered his last name. I'll be controversial. I'm taking the under. I give them 8 wins.
Whoa.
Classic Patriots fan. I love it. All right,
Yeah.
going to the Carolina Panthers. 5.5 is the line here. Bryce Young struggled last year. Big story. They got a little better. They brought in some talent. What do we think about the Carolina Panthers? Talked about sophomore slumps. Is this a second-year bump? Do you like that?
I do like
You
that.
A little second-year bump. All right, here we go. What do you think? They brought in Deontay Johnson. They drafted Xavier Legette. They got some guys on the defense as well. What do we think here?
I like the additions of Deontay Johnson and Xavier Legette. I know I talked about Xavier Legette on the draft podcast, and that was actually on the pre-draft podcast that we did that I talked about Legette.
Yeah.
I liked both the moves. I just don't think the Panthers are that good. I don't even think it's necessarily Bryce Young's fault. But I'm going to go the under. And I think it's a great line. But I think 5 wins, 5-12 is what we're looking at here. So they could go 6-11. I could go either way, but I'll go the under on it.
They're lucky they're playing in the NFC South, which is the only reason why I give them hope at this point. I don't like Legette. From what I've seen in training camp, he can't get open. He's not using his body to where he needs to be. He's not making the catches, which could be a Bryce Young thing. It could be a timing thing. They could figure it out. But I didn't love Bryce coming out of the draft. I definitely didn't like him last year. I think this team's hitting the under. This could be a Broncos situation. Trade everything and restart from fresh. I think more teams need to start doing that.
I mean, they
Did you see Xavier Legette in college though?
And in college, great. You're playing against people me and Hunter size.
No.
What school did he come from? Ole Miss?
South Carolina.
That's SEC football, buddy.
You're right. My bad.
You don't even know about that.
Playing West Texas Christian Academy University over there for games 1 and 3. He better be bodying these kids. These kids are D2, D3 talents.
What are you talking about? South Carolina?
Look at their schedule last year.
You look at it. I guarantee you did not watch a game.
South Carolina
played no game. Why would I watch
their out of conference game, bro? They played Clemson as their out of conference game,
and then they lose.
It's a wide receiver, bro.
I'm just saying, a great wide receiver would help them win.
You're being ridiculous.
I think this team has a lot to figure out. Brian Burns is still there somehow. I would have traded him.
Hey, bro, you like Randy Moss?
I love Randy Moss.
Yeah, where did he go to school?
Was it Marshall?
Yeah, it was Marshall. You think they won very many games?
Yeah, but he also had 30.
Yeah. Shut your mouth. That's exactly my point.
30 touchdowns.
Indianapolis Colts. Oh, I never did my over-under. I'm going to go over-under. Let's go.
Me and Seth went under.
Yeah, go ahead. Pick the over.
No, I don't want to pick over because I actually think the Bucs team is solid. I think the Falcons could be good.
The Saints.
Fuck the Saints.
They could be okay.
I'll go under here. I don't love how old this team is.
Can I get an interjection?
I
think we should all pool money together and bet the over.
No, this is terrible. Terrible idea. Going to the Indianapolis Colts.
A logical nonsense bet. I like it.
$10.
Indianapolis Colts. Interesting line here at 8.5. They were a frisky team last year. All year long, really. I feel like they were in just about every game they played. What do we think here? 8.5.
I think if he's healthy and Anthony Richardson stays healthy, I think this team. That's a great line for them. That's hard. They play the Jags. They play the Titans. I could see them sneaking a 9th win. I don't think it's a playoff team.
They play the AFC East and the NFC North, by the way.
Fuck. We good teams over there. We good teams. I'll take the under on this one. But I think Anthony and Jonathan Taylor play pretty well.
Okay. Yeah, I'm taking the under as well. I'm not sure that why am I blanking on his name? Quarterback.
Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, for some reason I was thinking Anthony Joshua, the boxer, but yeah, Anthony Richardson. I'm worried about if he's going to be injury prone. I really am. The way he runs, he doesn't seem to protect himself very much. Maybe he's going to learn going into his second season. This team is very tough, very scrappy. I think they have a decent roster. If he could stay healthy, I could see them doing well. I've never been an Anthony Richardson believer, and they have a tough schedule. Give me the under.
I'm going over. And I think it's because they are a frisky team, and I do think Anthony Richardson could be injury prone. However, they've got one of the best backups in the league, baby, Joe Flacco. All right, we saw what he did with the Cleveland Browns. I think this is a perfect team for Joe Flacco to go lead, take over that starting spot, be Tom Brady all over again. I mean, the man's a Super Bowl winner. What can you expect? You know, Super Bowl winners, they just lead teams. No, on a real note, though, I do think this team actually has an underrated roster. I think they did a really good job in the draft this year, picking up Adonai Mitchell. I really like that pickup. Like Leatu Latu, really good pickup there, too. And they still got guys like DeForest Buckner. I really love this scrappiness of this team. I feel like they're always in it no matter what. Jonathan Taylor can stay healthy. Anthony Richardson can stay healthy. This team could be a dangerous, underrated team. So I'm going to go over. Plus, I think there's another team that will struggle. So in this division. Going to the Atlanta Falcons, 9.5.
They did just get.
This one's tough because everyone believes in this team right now. Everyone believes in this team.
You just want to be different, bro. Stop trying to be different.
I'm not trying to be different. It's just it's one of those things where it's really hard for me to believe in NFC South teams. They just aren't good. They got a new coach. They got a new QB. Give me the over. I think they'll be a 10-win team. They're not in a very tough division. And I think that'll be to their advantage. I don't think they're going to be a team that really gives anyone a run for their money in the playoffs. But I think they'll be good enough to be a playoff team. I'm very curious to see the guys we've heard about that just need to be free, how they actually perform. Drake London, Bijan Robinson, and the tight end. Why can't I think of his name? Kyle Pitts. Thank you. All we've ever heard about is Kyle Pitts and Bijan Robinson not being used correctly. Well, let's see it. Let's see it put into action, and let's see if it works. I think Kirk Cousins is a good QB. I'm curious how it'll work. I think this is a 10-win team. I'll take the over.
Yeah, the Falcons are also playing NFC East and AFC West, two divisions we don't think are going to be great. Other than one team, right? The Eagles and Chiefs. I have great belief. I've always been a Kirk Cousins fan. Anyone who's listened to me talk about Kirk Cousins knows that. I think this is a 10, maybe 11-win team. Honestly, you got the Saints, you got the Panthers, you got who else is down there? The Bucs. Falcons I think are the best team out of those four. So
I do too.
I think 10 or 11 wins. I'm betting the over.
Do we have a group consensus on the over here?
Yeah, we do. We've had more than one on that, believe it or not. But group consensus is
we bet on those.
Oh my lord, no.
Look,
why do you think? Why do you believe in the Falcons?
I think they're just too loaded. I think that offense last year was very one-dimensional. They tried to stick too much to a script and not be flashy. I think if this team comes out and just utilizes their weapons, like get Kyle Pitts the touches he needs, get Bijan the touches, get Drake London the touches, I think this offense can be explosive, especially with Kirk behind the wheel. I think you let this offense just fly, and it's going to put up some serious points. This defense is lacking, in my opinion, but
I was just about to bring that up.
I think this offense will keep them in games, and ultimately this is an offensive league now, and I think they'll get the dubs.
I actually think that the receiving core is overrated on the Falcons, and I've thought that for a while. Everybody loves talking about Kyle Pitts and Drake London, but in reality, like Drake London's Drake London's done well. I don't want to talk bad about Drake London, but sometimes people put him in as like a top 10 receiver in the league, and he's not.
He's not. Yeah.
And people, every year we hear about Kyle Pitts could be the best tight end in the league or could be the top 5 receiving tight end in the league. And I don't think I've ever seen a season where I've been like, oh, yeah, Kyle Pitts is top 5 tight end. So.
You switching your answer?
No. I think Kirk makes them better, and this team is already okay. So, no, I'm not switching my answer. Yeah. It's just that I don't think it's the receiving core that's going to be the reason why they suddenly are the best in the NFC South. I think it's the quarterback. I guess that's a no-doubt answer, but.
All right, going to Cleveland Browns. Line here is 8.5. Team that kind of surprised some people, I think, last year, especially with all the injuries they had. Nick Chubb, Deshaun Watson. Saw some guys step up, like Mr. Joe Flacco. It was an interesting team, to say the least. What do we think of the Cleveland Browns?
You want to talk about a gritty team?
Yeah.
The Browns were gritty last year. I actually think this is a great line for them at 8.5.
Great line for the whole AFC North.
Yeah, because that division is so freaking tough.
Yep.
I'm going to take the under because I'm worried about their quarterback play. I like that team. I like the team. I like that they're gritty. I think the Joe Flacco phenomenon was a really interesting time period to live in. That was the most confident I've ever seen Joe Flacco play, like in his entire life. I've never seen him just like put balls and just try things that he wouldn't have tried at the Ravens.
Yeah.
Pause.
But no, I don't think Deshaun Watson, when's the last time he played a game where I was reminded of him as the Houston Texans quarterback that everybody was talking about?
No, he hasn't been the same.
I haven't seen it. So
one of the most overpaid QBs.
I'm gonna go under at 8.
I think I got to take the over here. I mean, you talk about a team that went 9-7, 10 or 9-8, 10-7 last year, with all those injuries. I think the quarterback play was spotty last year, and they still did well. You got Nick Chubb coming back. Hopefully,
went 11-6 last year, by the way.
11-6. I think you got a team that. I mean, the Bengals were shot up last year too, so they'll have some more competition. But you keep this team healthy. Kevin Stefanski, I think he's
Stefanski.
He's one of the better coaches in the league. I mean, he's going to get this team to at least 10 wins, in my opinion. I think the defense is still good. Myles Garrett's still going to wreck the game. I think you get some decent quarterback play out of Deshaun Watson. You get Nick Chubb back. You get Kareem Hunt. Amari Cooper's been consistently a top 10 receiver in the league since year one. I mean, this team should do well.
Is Kevin Stefanski or Sean McVay? Who would you rather have?
Kevin Stefanski.
He's got grit with him.
What did you say, Seth?
Kevin.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. Stefanski's a great coach. I've always praised him on this platform. I think this defense is incredible. I'm pretty sure I went on the record last year saying this was the best defense in the NFL last year. I don't feel bad about that statement. I mean, I still think they're a top 3, top 5 defense. They are just solid from top to bottom. They bring pressure. Their secondary is loaded. Their linebackers are great. I really like how scrappy this team is. It's really hard for me to say under, but the one thing that keeps telling me to say under is the Cincinnati Bengals. And there's always teams that fall out from the previous year, and I think this is one of those teams that will fall out, unfortunately. I think they're an 8-win team. Just barely miss it. I'm going to go under for the Cleveland Browns. Going to the Miami Dolphins, they just paid Tua. 9.5 is the line here. Team I didn't believe in from the beginning, and it paid off.
I think teams are starting to figure out Mike McDaniels a little bit. I mean, you saw it towards the end of the year last year, especially, with what they did in the offseason. There wasn't much splash. There wasn't much change. I don't think this team's going to come in and go lights out like they did against the Broncos and throw
Chill.
points.
Chill.
Points, my bad. I think this team in that division with their play, 9.5 is a great line. I'll take the under at 9 wins. I'll take the under. I think that team has a lot of question marks. Tyreek's gonna ball out. Draft him.
Give me the over.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with 10 wins here. I think 9.5 is a fine line. I do think that I'm a little worried that their offense maybe will sputter at times. I've never been a big Tua Tagovailoa fan anyway. I think the Dolphins are all, like the third best team in their conference, in their division too. So, tough. But I have the over at 10.
Behind the Patriots, right?
Yeah, definitely. But talk about delusion.
I'm going to go over as well. I think their offense is going to carry them enough. My biggest concern with this team, and it's always been my biggest concern, is their defense. It just isn't there. It's just not aggressive enough, in my opinion. Mike McDaniels is I think, an offensive wizard. I think would be a great coordinator. They need somebody, either whether it's a coordinator, I don't know who it is. They just need better defensive schemes. That's the name of the game. And it's not that they don't have guys that I think aren't capable. I just think they just haven't used them like I would like. They've also dealt with a lot of injuries on that side of the ball too. So I guess you can't discount that, but they just need more help on that side of the ball, and I think that's going to cost them in the long run. But I could see this team being another 10-win team. All right, going to the Pittsburgh Steelers, 8.5.
I mean, their special team is going to carry them when their starting quarterback is taking the kickoffs for 95 yards for a tutty. I think this team with Mike Tomlin will get over 500 again, as they always do. Give me 9 and 8. Are we talking about
the Steelers?
Okay, good. Give me 9. I think the over. Mike Tomlin's too good of a coach.
Give me the over.
Yeah, I'll also go over.
Sorry, Pittsburgh. Not much to say.
Actually, I think there's a lot to say about Pittsburgh, but
what do you have to say then?
I think Pittsburgh's a good team. We talked about all their offseason moves. The only one I didn't like was Deontay Johnson. They've got one of the top coaches in the NFL. Russell Wilson's gonna start. I don't know what the heck Seth's talking about. And I think Russell's still a good quarterback, as much as people like to hate on him. This team went 9-8 or 10-7 last year with Mason Rudolph as their quarterback and Kenny Pickett. I think the Steelers could be a very good team. And I think they could be dangerous in the playoffs, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. No, I like the Steelers. I think it's really hard to count them out as a 500-win team. I think they could be a 10-win team, to your point. Defensively, they've always been sound. Old school football team. I think they'll continue to do good things. I think they're in a tough division. That's why I don't see them as an 11, 12-win team. I also don't think they have necessarily like that amount of talent. But I definitely think they could be a 10-win team pretty easily. So going to the
playoffs.
They're not a championship contending team, but
yeah, I wouldn't say they're not either, but I would put them on the same level as almost the Houston Texans.
I agree.
Where they're close. They could make a run.
Tennessee Titans, 6.5. Will Levis, do you believe in him? Big cock, Levis.
Is that his nickname now?
No, I just gave it to him.
I'm gonna go the under. I think probably seeing another 6-11 season. The Titans. I don't know. I can't. Remind me if I'm wrong, but I don't remember anything exciting coming from them this offseason.
Calvin Ridley.
Not exciting. I'm sorry, it's not. They lost Henry, so I think they still actually have a decent running back core, but I don't see this team doing better than.
They also got Tony Pollard and Tyler Boyd.
Yeah. Tyler Boyd's I'm more excited about Tyler Boyd than I am Calvin Ridley. I think Tyler Boyd's a solid receiver. I think it's a good line. I could see him winning 7. I'm not a huge Will Levis believer. I think he played all right. He deserves another go at it. Hopefully he outplays what I'm thinking. But for his sake, I don't see it. 6-11.
I think they have a rookie coach now, right? They
Yeah,
lost,
they fired Vrabel.
which I don't
And we
understand.
like Braves.
I don't agree with that. I think Vrabel was the best coach that they can get for that team. I love the additions of Calvin, Tyler Boyd, and Tony Pollard. I love all three of those. I still think this team is a below 7-win team. The coaching's not there, but one day they'll figure it out.
Well, the coaching wasn't there last year either, so can only be 6-11 for so many seasons. All right. Well, I think this team is an over. Actually, I think this is an underrated team. I think it's not much over. I think it's a 7-8 win team. But I think they could spark some noise. They had six wins last year, and I think they got better. So I don't see any reason why they couldn't get 7-8 wins. I don't know. I think it'll be a nice refreshment for them to not have Derrick Henry. I know that sounds weird, but I feel like so much of their identity as a team was Derrick Henry, and I think teams figure that out. I think it'll be good for them to have a different identity than giving the ball 30 times to Derrick Henry every single game. So I'm excited to see what this team can do with this offense. And their defense is still really solid. So going to the Arizona Cardinals, 6.5 is this line. Does anybody believe in the Cardinals?
Silence is the key to that answer. No, not at all. I don't even know who they added in the offseason.
Marvin Harrison Jr.
Oh,
Yeah,
you're right.
sure.
I think Marvin Harrison Jr. is a elite receiver coming into the league, but that team is going to be rough to watch. Plus, you're in a pretty hard division.
They were scrappy though last year.
They were scrappy.
Give me the under. The Cardinals suck. I don't know if I believe in their coaching staff at all. Marvin Harrison Jr. I like. Kyler Murray's not bad. I actually think the roster is not the worst roster in the NFL, but I don't believe in their coaching staff like at all. So I can't see him being a 7-win team.
Yeah, give me the under as well. I'll third that. I just don't think the coaching's there. I think the defense is splotchy, I think is the word for it. I just think, yes, they're scrappy, but they don't really put it together. There's a lot of
scrappy,
lapses.
But it's not tough. I don't know.
There's a lot of lapses, I feel like, too. I don't know. It's just they'll put up a fight, but I think the under here. All right, Commanders. 6.5.
Shouldn't be a 6.5.
You think it should be higher or lower?
Should be much lower. Should be like 4.5. Give me the under.
Who's even their quarterback? Jaden Daniels. That's right.
Yeah, the line shouldn't be 6.5. It should be like 4.5. Rookie quarterback. Rookie coach too. No, who's the coach of the Commanders right now?
Yeah, it's not Rivera anymore. That's for sure.
Yeah, coach of Commanders. It's Dan Quinn. That's right.
Oh yeah.
Give me the under.
My bad. I love these red jerseys. Yeah, I'm taking the under.
All right. I'll also go the under. Rookie QB. Not that great of a roster. They sold last year. That's all I need to say. Under. New Orleans Saints. Line is 7.5.
That's a good line. I'm gonna go the over because I think they're an 8-9 win team. And I'm not even a Derek Carr fan, so that should tell you something. But I think the NFC South is okay, as much as people love to hate on them. I think they're okay.
Or the NFC is just weak.
Well, that's also true, but that doesn't mean that doesn't mean they won't get wins. So they're going to get some wins. I think 8-9 wins.
I don't like the Saints. I'm taking the under on 7.5. I mean, you got Derek Carr at quarterback. Their coach isn't great. Besides Alvin Kamara, Chris Olave, I couldn't tell you another person on that team. So that's that very old D end. I like
Cam
that guy.
Jordan.
Yeah.
What about Chase Young? You know his name?
I sadly know his name. I do not know his game. His game is non-existent.
All right. Well, I am going to take the under. I don't believe in the Saints at all. I think the NFC South is as bad as people say it is. Yes, they have an easy schedule, but even last year when this team was about the same roster, they still weren't good. So I'm gonna go under. New England Patriots. It is not 3.5. It's 4.5.
All right, I was gonna say
No, I
that
was
3.5 is a little disrespectful. A little disrespectful. You got a rookie coach, Gerard Mayo. You got a whole new coaching staff. You got a new quarterback. Still no weapons at receiver. You got a decent tight end. I mean, I love the defense. I think the defense is gonna be better than it was last year. I'm gonna say the over as a Patriots fan, and I don't like it. I'm gonna give them 5 wins. We're delusional over here.
Delusional. Give me the under.
Woo!
We're going
Number
4
1
wins.
Number 1 pick.
We're going first overall pick under.
They literally spent 2 draft picks on a quarterback and didn't get a receiver.
Yeah.
Did they get a receiver later?
Yeah, they got Polk.
That's right. They got Polk. They should have drafted a receiver and lived with because they signed Brissett again, right? Or
Yeah,
Brissett was
Brissett, yeah.
They did.
Joe Milton's out.
2 quarterbacks.
Yeah, Joe Milton's out playing freaking Drake May. What a surprise! That's weird.
Anyway,
Bust.
dumb. You said it, not me. Dumb. Under 3-4 wins.
Oh, I'm under. Yeah, first overall pick. They're getting 2 wins.
It's a
I'm just kidding.
It's been a while.
New York Giants.
Hate on us now. New York Giants, give me that slap fat under, baby. Daniel Jones is a rookie quarterback playing in the FSC. I don't even know if that's a team in the college football world, but this dude stinks. They lost Saquon. They got a good receiver in Malik Neighbors, but Daniel doesn't know how to throw a ball, so it won't matter. They also lose Evan Ingram, or the other tight end, I forget his name, who went delusional and got a divorce. So
What?
Darren Waller, that's his name.
Oh.
Kelsey Plum, man, can't be dropping that bag, bro. This team's an under. They're in a hard division. No biasness, of course.
I think this is a good line for them. Daniel Jones has to have a better year, otherwise he's gone. I'm gonna go the under 6-11. Yikes! I could see him going 7-10 though.
Yeah, no, that 7-10 is really. I'm eyeing it.
Yeah, I thought about it for a
Did
while.
Did I say over on the Cowboys?
No,
I think
you
I
both
did.
went under on Cowboys. I'm pretty sure.
Did I? Yeah, because I
Yeah.
said 10 wins. You're right.
I went over.
You know what? For that reason, I'm gonna go over on the Giants then, and it's just gonna be 7 wins. It's nothing crazy.
Yeah.
I think they're a 7-10 team. Yeah, I could see. You don't like Neighbors, but I think Neighbors could have a good year.
Look,
LSU receivers do good in New York. LSU
the
receivers do good in New York.
From the clips I've seen in spring training, he's looked good. Did I say call it spring training?
Yeah, I know what you meant. Training camp. Yeah, he's looked good in training camp. I'm gonna go over 7-10. Green Bay Packers 13. Well, no way. Okay, I was like, what? 9.5. 9.5. I was like 13.5. What the fuck? Jordan Love.
Jordan Love hasn't even come back yet. Signed Jacob Eason. We should mention that.
Good
no,
job.
he has come back. He just signed a big ass deal. Jordan Love?
No, Jacob Eason.
Did Jordan Love come back?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Jordan Love.
He's getting paid $55 million a year.
Yeah.
That's right. I forgot about that. Yeah, that's
league.
right. That's right. Ridiculous, by the way.
Signed Josh Jacobs.
I'm gonna go the over. Team's gotten better. I like the signing of Josh Jacobs. I'm not sure it was necessary because they have AJ Dillon. Or AJ Dillon, always been behind somebody on that dang team.
You love AJ Dillon.
I do. I wish this guy. I've been watching that dude since Boston College, and I was like, he's the next Marshawn Lynch. But lo and behold, Seattle didn't draft him. Give me the over. 10 or 11.
I'm gonna go. I'll go over.
Yeah, I'll
because I went under on the Bears, and I said, yeah, I'll go over. I think they're a 10-win team.
If any division, wait, you got the Vikings. Never mind, I'm tripping. Yeah, no, this team's over.
Seattle Seahawks, 7.5.
Give me the over, boys. Now, hear me out. I understand, first-year coach. I understand that we got Geno Smith. Wait till Sam Howell starts.
Stop.
On a real note, I think 7.5 is honestly probably a pretty good line. But I do think the Seahawks are actually like a 500 team, either 8-9 or 9-8. And I would honestly bet higher on the 9-8 than I would the 8-9. I like McDonald. I think it'll go well. I think the Seahawks are going to continue to be good like they have been for a long time now. I don't think they're contenders or anything, like they might sneak into the playoffs. But honestly, this division is not that tough. Like I don't think it's a bad division, but it's not as good as it's been in the past. So give me the over.
I'll go first now. I'm gonna go under, sadly.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because I went over on the Rams.
That's true. Fair enough.
Trying to think about this logistically. I think in years past I have not thought about that kind of stuff. And this year I am thinking about that stuff. I'm gonna go under the Seattle.
Okay.
7-win team.
Why? What's going to do it for us?
How much better have they gotten?
They've gotten a little bit better.
I just feel like they haven't really made that many moves.
No, you're right. Honestly, I'm really worried.
There could be concerns there. You're good.
I'm concerned about the linebacking core at Seattle. Really concerned. But I believe in McDonald.
McDonald, I do think is the right coaching move. I just don't think it's going to be this year that it's the right coaching move.
Fair enough.
It's tough. I think I agree with Doug that they're an 8-9 team. I wouldn't say a 9-8 team. I'll take the over, but it's really going to rely on how that front seven on the Seahawks plays. Their back four is great. Thank God they got rid of Jamal Adams. Waste of space. But you got two great corners, some solid safeties, an offense that I think will gel pretty smoothly. We'll see how the coach and the front seven play.
All right. One of my favorite teams to talk about, the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Is that right? 8.5?
8.5, I think, right? Is that what that says?
Yeah, that's right.
Huh?
Go.
Under.
Yeah.
Under. I don't believe in this team. I don't. They choked last year. I think Trevor Lawrence makes way too many bad decisions, and I've seen them lose too many close games. They just piss it down their leg, man.
Is this T-Law's last year in Jacksonville then? Think about it. If they go,
they just extended
8,
him.
9, 7-10. Yeah, but hear me out. They go 8, 9, 7-10. Lord forbid 6-11. What are they gonna do?
They're gonna be like the Giants, is what they're gonna be like.
Don't tell me they're gonna go to ETN.
I like ETN a lot, but
I do too.
Hear me out. Under and T-Law traded.
I don't think it's traded just yet. I think this is where the league starts to realize that this dude is on the hot seat and this should have been there years ago.
He has the exact same stats as Daniel Jones.
Yeah, he's not it.
Anyway.
10.5. Detroit Lions just had a seizure.
I'll take the over for Detroit. I think it's a little disrespectful to put one of the team that should have won the NFC Championship. I mean, I don't know what they did to choke that hard, but this team is an 11-12, could sneak a 13th win in there. This is a great team. Yes, they're in a hard division with the Packers, but this team plays well. They play together and they play gritty. This is a good team.
I agree. I think
don't
the
think
Lions are going to be one of the best in the NFC. Over.
Doug got sad face on. Doug?
I don't agree that this line is disrespectful.
Yeah, I think it's respectful.
The Packers got better. The Bears, we think, got better. How many wins did you say, Hunter? You thought they were going to be the best team in the NFC?
I said one of the best. I said one of the best.
Sorry, I thought you said the best. Had me tripping.
No. I said the Philadelphia Eagles are going to be the best. Come on now.
That's true. You did say that. You know, I think they're going to have a tough fight with the Packers to be the best in the NFC North. Packers have been there, done that. You know,
just remember what happened last time.
I'm going to go with the over at 11 wins, but I think this line is super respectful.
Seth does not agree. Cincinnati Bengals 10.5. This one's hard for me. I'm gonna go under. I think it's too hard of a division. It's not because I don't believe in the Bengals. It's not because I don't believe in the Bengals. I think they're a playoff team. I just think this division is too tough. The Bengals, in my opinion, have never really been a team that's like really flourished in the regular season. For being honest, even that year they went to the Super Bowl, really didn't play like that great during that season. During the regular season, like they played good. I'm not saying they played bad, but like they weren't the 1 seed, you know? And I think they're a team that makes the playoffs, does what needs to be done to make the playoffs, but they're more of a playoff team than a regular season team.
I'm also going to go under just because that division is too hard. So 10-7, it has to be the max that they get. I think maybe people are a little too confident on the Joe Burrow train. Like, I like Joe Burrow. I think he's solid, but is he one of the top quarterbacks in the NFL?
Oh, bold takes.
I'm not sold.
Bold takes.
So, give me 10-7.
He's got a lot to prove this year.
Yeah, I think he does.
I'll take the under just because they lose Joe Mixon and Tyler Boyd.
That's true. Those are two big losses.
Joe's surgery, all that I've read on it is he will never be 100% again.
What surgery did he get?
He got like a weird tendon.
Testicular torsion.
Oh, it was his
testicles, yeah. Going to the Buffalo Bills, 10.5 is the line.
I think it's
I'm just playing.
I know. If it's with his thumb, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, you play quarterback. How often do you use your thumb?
You know, all the time.
All the time.
I
think it's a little high for the Buffs. I mean, they lose Stephon Diggs. Josh Allen has been pretty good. I'd say he's the top 5 quarterback in the league, confidently. But nothing jumps out of the page in terms of getting better from last year. I put him at 10 wins. They get into the playoffs and they might make a move in the wild card, but nothing beyond that.
They still got Sean McDermott as head coach, right?
Yeah.
Give me over. I think they get 11. I think they're the best team in the NFC East still, even without Diggs. Or AFC East, my bad. I do think maybe we see Josh Allen struggle a little more. Maybe he relies on the run game a little more just because there is no Diggs. But this is still a really good team.
Yeah. I think this team will be fine. I think a lot of people are worried about this receiving core, but I think they'll be fine. I don't know if I go over here, though. That's my only thing. Like, I think this is a 10-week win team, but it's also hard to count this team out. We counted them out last year mid-season, and they came back with a freaking vengeance.
I just want to remind you, I think, what did you go? You went over for the Jets? Under for the maybe you went over. I don't remember.
I think I went over Jets, under Dolphins. But I think this is a 9-8, 10-7, 10-7.
Okay. Tight.
I'll go under for the Bills. All right, going to the Baltimore Ravens, 10.5.
I think they'll be over. I think Lamar has a better season than last. I don't think he should have been MVP. Controversial opinion.
He shouldn't. It's not controversial. It's okay. You can say it proudly on this channel.
Lamar should not have been MVP.
I have said it so many times. Call me racist. I don't give a fuck what you want to say. He did not deserve MVP last year. If you don't lead the league in any other stat than not even rushing touchdowns, rushing yards by quarterback, you don't deserve to be MVP. Sorry. Go look at Christian McCaffrey's stats last year.
Christian, Josh Allen. There's two players.
Josh Allen.
His stats are pretty good. I think his stats are pretty good. Take a look at him. Take a peek. This team does sneak the over. Derrick Henry's a huge addition. That receiving core is going to get another year with Lamar. I think he has a better season than last. Maybe an MVP candidate.
Josh Allen had 18 picks last year.
How many touchdowns you throw and run for?
29.
Plus
run for I didn't check. No, 29 passing.
No,
doesn't matter. Josh. No. I would have put Tyreek over Josh, even with the injury.
Also fair.
Anyway, what were we saying? Ravens 10.5.
Yep.
Good line. I'm tempted to go over, but this is such a tough division.
I know.
I'm going to go over, but slightly, 11-6. And I'm worried about what I've done because I think I went 11-6, Ravens 10-7, Bengals. Heck, I think I was saying 10-7 or 11-6 Steelers and 8-9 Browns. So
yeah, something's not right there.
At least I went under on the Browns. Something's not right, but it's okay.
I'm going over on the Ravens. They're a regular season team. As long as Lamar Jackson is their QB, they'll never win a Super Bowl. So that is my take there. Going to our final team of the night, boys. We made it after 2 hours. Got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 7.5.
I truly believe that they'll hit the over. They do lose Devin White. I think Shaquille Barrett retired. They lose some pretty big pieces on the defense, but I like Baker. I really do. I think he's going to play even better this year. That offense still has Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. I think this team will do 8, maybe 9 wins. I honestly think they'll win the division over the Falcons. We'll see, though. That'll be the combat in my eyes.
Wait. You said 8 or 9 wins and win the division?
Look, I understand that I said Falcons 10. I get it.
No. Let's go back. Can we go back on the podcast? What did you put for the Falcons?
Yeah, there's no way you said 8 or 9 wins.
I think I put 10 wins.
So then that wouldn't win the division.
But I also said the Falcons are the most iffy team in this league.
That doesn't make sense.
It's also my bedtime 7 minutes ago, so someone did let me nap.
Anyway, give me the over. I think this team is pretty good. I think Baker's a little underrated still. I don't think it's a whole lot. I think maybe 9 wins. They're definitely not better than the Falcons. I think I would have them better than the Saints and the Panthers, though. So give me 9 and 8.
I'll go over as well. I like this is like the one team I like from the NFC South that I feel like decently confident in.
Not in the Falcons, huh?
No. It's just hard to trust them.
Interesting.
Sorry, man. I like Kirk. It's not Kirk that I don't believe in. It's Bijan and
I like Kirk.
Kyle Pitts, Drake London. Overrated. Fantasy football dream wonders.
Who's the coach? Who's the coach of Falcons? It is. Why am I? Raheem Morris. Yeah, I don't know.
I know him.
Yeah, I mean, I know him, but I mean, like, he is an unknown quantity at head coach.
Yeah, fair. All right, boys. Well, we made it through somehow, some way. So, appreciate you.
Thanks for having us on, Hunter.
And I'll catch you.
Can't even see me. All right, hold on.
Good night, buddy.
Night, boys.
I'm staying up. I don't got work tomorrow.
All right, bye.
See you, Hunt.